Everyone, the iPhone 15 has just officially came out, and I want to take some time to talk about some of my most favorite tricks and tips that this particular iPhone has, because I genuinely think that this is a very good iPhone with a lot of capability. The very first tip I would recommend every single iPhone 15 owner to actually do is to make your way over to your settings application of your iPhone 15, scroll down until you see General, click on Software Update, and literally just go and update your iPhone to the most recent version of software. There's been lots of stuff going on with the iPhone 15s of the release models. So just go ahead and update your iPhone, and I guarantee you that is probably going to end up fixing a lot of issues that you're probably going to end up having as far as I can tell. So that's the number one thing for sure. One of my most favorite tricks with the iPhone 15 though is the ability of actually charging up other devices from your iPhone 15. So at the bottom, we actually now have our USB-C port. So what you can do is you can actually plug in your USB-C iPhone, just like the bottom right here, and plug the other end into basically any other device that supports this charging. So in this case, it'd be USB-C, and you can actually charge up other devices from this iPhone. Now do keep in mind it does suck up a little bit of battery from your particular device, but you can go ahead and charge these things up and use this iPhone as somewhat of like a battery bank. And you can also tell right here that I am charging this iPhone from this specific, or I'm charging this Pixel from my iPhone 15, and it is a very cool thing. And it's not just Androids, you can charge up iPhones, you can charge up AirPods, anything that you basically have, it can intelligently kind of detect when you're plugging something in, and it'll go and start charging it up, and it's a very cool feature. So there's lots and lots of different things you can charge up, but this is by far one of my most favorite things. If you have even a wireless charger for your iPhone 15, you can wirelessly charge your iPhone 15 and also charge up other devices at the same time via this lightning port, and it is something that's very cool. I'd recommend every single person to kind of get used to it. So you can kind of use your iPhone 15 as a battery bank, which is genuinely so cool. Now, another thing within our iPhone 15s is the ability of seeing our iPhone battery cycle count. We never had this before, we never had this capability. Well, we kind of did, we had to use Siri shortcuts and a lot of annoying stuff, but now it's built in natively of our iPhones. So what we can do, and the cycle count is basically how many times your iPhone's battery has cycled out. The lower the better, but in this case, it's a brand new iPhone, you probably won't see any big differences, but you can make your way over to your iPhone settings. You can scroll down until you see General, which is right here. You want to go and click on About, which is right up here, and there's now should be a new option somewhere that goes ahead and shows you the cycle count of your battery. So you can see right here at the very bottom of my iPhone, it shows battery, manufacture date, first use, when I first used it, which is kind of cool, but also shows you your cycle count. So now what you can do is you can basically just see how many cycles your iPhone battery has gone through. Now cycle count and battery health I think kind of go hand in hand. So if your cycle count is massively high, then your battery health will probably be low. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those small things to kind of keep in mind. On top of that, our iPhone 15s now have the capability of stopping charging at 80%. So I don't know if you'd want to do this. I wouldn't personally want to do this, but if you want to keep your iPhone battery health as good as possible, make your way over to your iPhone battery health option here. You can get into battery health and charging, and there's a few options that we have. Now we have max, or battery health, what it's telling us, clean energy charging. But charging optimization, if you click here, you can click on the optimized battery charging, which will reduce your battery aging and keep your iPhone's battery health in tip-top shape for as long as possible. But there's also this 80% limit. I don't personally like this, but you can go ahead and turn it on. Let's say you're almost never dying your battery in one day. Well, what you can do, and I have a lot of devices that automatically do this, they will not basically charge it all the way up to 100%. And the reason for that is it's better for your battery health. So if you want to keep your iPhone, for as long as possible, like for 7 years, basically if you want to keep it at the 80% limit, you may be able to extend your battery, but also there's a chance where you can just drop your iPhone and break the whole thing. So there's no point doing that if you don't already care about it too much. But just get in the habit of not overcharging your iPhone or keeping it in super hot conditions, and your battery health should be fine. So those are the main things on the battery side. Now, I'm sure most of you know this by now, but our iPhones now have the ability of having standby mode. Now, standby mode is a very cool feature that essentially would turn your iPhone into some sort of an alarm clock kind of thing with a digital, display. It's very cool, and if you want to enable it and give it a try, you can go and make your way over to your settings application here. You can scroll down until you see standby, which is right here. So tap on standby, and this next mode will come up, and you can go and enable standby, which, like I said before, I think everyone kind of knows, but you can go through and enable and disable all these other options here too. You can go and disable or enable night mode, show notifications, show preview on tap only. There's a lot of other options here that we have within this device, and it's a very cool option that we have as well. So you can just go through here and basically, kind of configure this whichever way you want to. And that's another thing that came out on all iOS 17 iPhones, including our iPhone 15. Now, iMessage has some really cool stuff as well, and we basically have the capability of adding stickers, essentially, at least iMessage wide on our iPhone. Now, stickers, we can drag and drop them over messages and all sorts of stuff too. It's a really cool thing. So to get started, you want to open up iMessage, and you want to click on the plus button on the side of your panel here, and you want to click on stickers. Now, when you do that, it's going to tell us that we don't have any stickers that we just made. But if you click on that little panel on the right side of that specific thing, you can click on new sticker. Now here, you can basically find something with a background that you can take out from the background. So things like portrait mode or like the depth wallpapers, think about those things like that. And what we can do is we can bring in an image just like this, and it will intelligently figure out what's in the forefront and what's in the background. And from this specific photo, what we can do is we can click add sticker, and now we've just added a sticker to our iPhone 15. So now what we can do is if we want to go ahead and start messaging somebody, right? Let's say we have a message with, let's just say I'm just going to text myself in this case. I'll just go and text whatever, and I'll say hi. Well, what I can do is if it's an iMessage, I can go ahead and bring these stickers over, drag and drop them over messages. And as long as it's an iMessage, I should be able to go ahead and have that type of thing going on. It's super cool. It's once again one of my most favorite features within iOS 17, and it's something that I love seeing inside of these devices. Now, on top of that, we now have some really cool capability within our iPhone 15s since iOS 17, and is the ability of name drop, but also airdropping files from one phone to the other just by tapping. So what we can do is we can make our way over to our iPhone settings here, and we can go and scroll down into General, which is right here, and from here what we can do is we can click on AirDrop. So in this panel, you can see that we have a little panel at the very bottom that says bringing devices together. So if I were to go ahead and bring one of my iPhones together, let's say I have my iPhone 11 Pro right here. If I go and bring this iPhone close to my iPhone 15, I will go ahead and get a little panel that will allow me to go ahead and basically share one thing from another from this device to the other. Now maybe I have to do it again. Let me go and try kind of unlocking it and doing the same thing again. But basically, you will have the capability of basically, sending a file to another one from one iPhone to the other just by airdropping it just like this. It's very cool. Now for some reason it's not working, but you essentially have that type of capability. So this works with contact sharing. This works with, airdropping files. There's lots and lots of cool stuff here. So what I would recommend doing is kind of going through and getting used to this kind of stuff. Like here's an example. So if we go and bring these iPhones close to this, you can see I can go ahead and basically airdrop this file just like this from my iPhone 11 Pro to my iPhone 15. And it is a very, very cool feature. So now what I can do is I can click accept and watch what happens. This file will then be sent over to this iPhone. And you can do this on any iOS 17 iPhone, but it's very, very cool that we have this type of capability on our iPhone 15s. Now, finally, you have things that we've had on other iPhone, since like iOS 16. We have drag and drop. That's something that I love doing. So if you're trying to go through and try to like send an email attachment or something, you can also just drag and drop a specific file. System-wide, again, like I mentioned before, it's something that's really cool. And I'd recommend all iPhone 15 owners to kind of get used to it because it is a very cool thing. And finally, you also have things like finding your Wi-Fi password. So if you want to go ahead and find your Wi-Fi password, you can go into settings, click on Wi-Fi right here. You want to go and click on the I next to your Wi-Fi name, and you should basically be able to find your Wi-Fi option and show your password by tapping on it. Now, I wish I could show you, but I don't want to, send you all my information, but that's essentially another option that you have there as well. So those are pretty much all or some of my favorite iPhone 15 tricks and tips that I'd recommend every single person to check out. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. The like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.